It's finally time to reveal the feature our developers are working on for Minecraft.
Another update already? Yes, that's right. Minecraft is moving away from having only one feature update a year, and they're doing a soon-to-come update that has a new item, one which looks awfully familiar to anyone who's been around since 1.17's reveal, because the new feature is designed to address the inventory problem, and their plan to do so is to
add a Minecraft item that lets you carry more items.
This is the bundle, and although it was added as an experimental feature on Java years ago, it has never been available on Bedrock due to issues getting it to work with touch devices. As a result, the new design for the bundle, which Mojang has shared with us, is actually quite a bit different than either the 2020 version or the 2021 version that Java players still have access to, and this is therefore big news because there is a new feature coming to both versions, and from the sounds of it, it's coming in an update a lot sooner than 1.22 because this is Mojang's new drop system, and it looks as though the first big drop of 1.21 is going to include the bundle. But before we talk about the update it is coming in, let's talk about the update it was supposed to come in, because it was first announced for 1.17, the Caves and Cliffs update, and it was designed to solve a big problem.
So as you know, we keep adding new blocks and new items all the time, and that do create a bit of an inventory problem.
This item looks so different to the bundle which exists on Java today. As you can see, putting half a stack of wood in there will literally show you 32 individual pieces of wood, and when you put 10 different items in, it just shows you the messiest way to display that possible, which is realistically what it would look like if you put 8 different items in a bundle, but still it wasn't good enough, and of course the pandemic took its toll on the Caves and Cliffs update, which was split into 2 separate parts with goat horns, archaeology, and the bundle missing from either part. This was announced on Minecraft.net, and it was a sad time for Minecraft announcements, because the little upside was the fact that there were at least candles coming for everyone. I think trying to announce this update with optimism is kind of a telling sign of the times, but anyway, they did then bring out both the candle update, and then with later updates, they brought in goat horns and archaeology, and so now the only missing feature from Caves and Cliffs is bundles, something Mojang has decided to fix. So this means that some people are going to be very cynical and call this the Caves and Cliffs update part 5, because that joke hasn't been overused by now, but you would be wrong to call it that, not just because it's obviously not going to be Caves and Cliffs, but also because the bundle isn't going to be coming in what Mojang will call an update. This is an interesting change they're making to the update system, but instead this will be coming in a drop, it seems, but we'll talk more about that after we talk about the fixes they made to the bundle itself, because in the same announcement that the bundle would be coming, we also got 10 seconds off the new bundle, and although it's important to say this is pre-release footage and it may change before the final release, this is clearly slated to be coming to Bedrock betas and previews soon. That's not just my opinion, by the way, that's exactly what he says here.
Keep an eye out for bundles coming to Bedrock betas and previews on Minecraft.net.
And so while these changes aren't final, they're likely to be the ones we see in the first preview and beta, which is coming very soon to Minecraft Bedrock, and so in that we'll see this new animation, this new model I guess, but also we'll get to see this brand new emptied out bundle when you're looking inside of it. Also, the bundle has changed to now have this just kind of purple background. The entire thing looks pretty great, and it doesn't have squares inside of it. You just get to see a square when you hover over an item, and also you get to see the name of the item that you're looking at on the inside, and so this is beetroot seeds. As you can see, the actual functionality in terms of how many items it can hold hasn't gone up, because there is exactly a stack worth of items inside of the bundle, and as you can see, the bundle is 100% full. This is exactly how it works, so this is a really lovely UI change, and as you can see, this new UI should work just great on mobile. You just have to tap to make all of the things work, and this really does sort of raise the question at some point about like, so if they managed to solve this just like this, why did it take so long? But I think I'd rather put that question to the side and right now say this is great. Although, then that raises the question of how great is it, because as you know, it's existed on Java for quite some years, and although it's locked behind an experimental toggle, almost everyone just turns that toggle on if they want bundles. In fact, there are many large servers, including many large YouTuber servers, that do precisely that, and the feedback from almost everyone I've spoken to who has decided to do this is, yeah, actually, it doesn't really solve very much of a problem. Most inventory management problems come from very big builds, and you still need genuine stacks of blocks for that, and so shulker boxes are the solution. The bundle cannot contain shulker boxes, and so late game they might be useful for. I think you could probably solve this by making like a shulker bundle that could be halfway between a shulker box and a bundle, but I digress. The point is to say that you can't store large amounts of items, but instead can store lots of small stacks of small number of items. And then the other reason that people say that it's not really that big of a problem solver is that the crafting recipe is a little niche. So in my opinion, using rabbit hide is a really great idea to make it so that some players will be able to make this, but it means that the majority of people still won't have this, and the majority of players will still be overwhelmed by the items they receive receive when digging underground or doing effectively anything else. And so the bundle isn't a an end-all be-all solution to the inventory problem, but I think that despite the negativity that the bundle gets in its current Java release, I still think that adding the bundle is going to be better than not adding the bundle at solving the inventory crisis. It's kind of like having a mass murderer on the loose and he's killing loads of people. It's a real big problem, and then you apprehend someone and you think it's the mass murderer, but it turns out it's actually someone else who was just shooting a few people. You know, it's still good to have caught that person. It's still a really important step. It's not going to solve the overall serial killing problem, but it is definitely going to reduce those deaths somewhat, you would hope. And the only problem would be if you catch the one person and declare victory over the problem. I think they definitely shouldn't be doing that unless they've got some other things planned, but that is what's going to be happening in the Bedrock betas and previews, and the fact that they specifically say in the Bedrock betas and previews makes me think that they aren't doing any drastic changes to the item. They can more or less release the Java version as it is with a couple of changes, and then they can release the Bedrock version in the new ways that we're expecting. But yeah, that is going to be the exciting news, and that is everything we saw from the video. There is a new design for the bundle, and it has a new design that will work on all devices, including touch, because it's coming out for Bedrock, and once it comes out for Bedrock, it will be available for everyone else in the base game, as opposed to being locked behind experimental features. And this will be the first time that they've put something behind experimental, not put it in the next update, and then actually come back for it, which is a very good sign for Mojang development as a whole. It's starting to seem as though the experimental features or the combat snapshots are just ideas that they had and then can't really be bothered to come back round to. I love the idea that they're touching any amount of those, and it looks like they're touching it especially soon, because they did say in the video that this would be the last Minecraft Monthly, the last video announcement in this style for the summer. That's when they said they'd be taking off. Depending on how you measure summer, that's somewhere between 2 and 3 months, and so it is very likely that bundles are coming in that time period, because otherwise, why would they announce them now? This is at the very least when they're being added to previews and betas for Minecraft Bedrock, and if they're added, and if they're entirely successful, as you'd expect them to be, it means they're likely coming in that next update, which means as soon as 1.21.20, we could be seeing the bundles. This is an update which got its first preview just this week, and they actually fixed one of the most annoying bugs of 1.21, so that's very lovely, and they're looking to do all sorts of minor changements and adjustments, but they're trying to make it a bit of a bigger deal to the community by giving us a feature, and it's a fairly major feature to some people, just like how 1.20.80 having the access to armadillos and having access to the wolf armor was a big deal, but they didn't call that update an update. They didn't give it a name and a title like with Trials and Tiles and Trails and Tales and the Wild Update and Caves and Cliffs Part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They didn't give it an update. Instead, they called it the Armored Paws Drop, and so I think that this won't be the Caves and Cliffs update Part 5, not just because it's not Caves and Cliffs, but also because Minecraft's not going to call it an update. Obviously, this is an update every time they hotfix the game. It's an update to the game's code or whatever, but Minecraft is trying to differentiate between 1.21.1 and those sorts of style updates, which already has released for Bedrock and are there to provide stability and bug fixes, and stuff like 1.21.10, which has been cancelled in favor of 1.21.20, the major updates with a 0 at the end for the Bedrock version, and just any updates for Java. They're trying to make sure these small updates have some little features for us there too, and this is a way to spread the joy of an update across a year, and so we might be getting our first drop of 1.21 as soon as the first update for it. Are they going to continue the drop pattern for future things here? Are they going to call it a drop, or are they going to change the name? This is Mojang we're talking about. We don't know the answers to any of these questions, but I do know that I'm excited to play around with the bundle, and although I'm fairly sure it's not happening this week because it's Mojang Quiet Week, I think the week after this one, so I guess like 11 days from now, the 10th of July, I'm looking forward to doing precisely that. Oh, it's like 3 days before my birthday. What a lovely gift. You know what else would be a wonderful gift though? Maybe subscribing, or who am I kidding? We're not going to do one of those traditional sub-stitches, but instead I'll say that tomorrow is going to be the release of one of the biggest videos I've worked on this channel in a very long time. Ever since this huge trend of hating Minecraft has become a big thing for YouTube videos, exposing the big flaw and insert thing here, I've decided that I wanted to push against that trend, and so I put all of the, every time I had an idea for that, I put it all into one mega video. It's a giant video essay about why Minecraft is actually pretty good, and so if you're someone who enjoys the game, you can watch that. If you hate the game, then you totally shouldn't, and you shouldn't be subscribed for that. Just skip that video. But I think that you probably do enjoy Minecraft because you're here today, and like me, you're probably excited for the bundle, even though it's, goodbye.